Imagine I hold up two plain white t-shirts. They look identical. They're made of the exact same cotton, stitched in the same factory, and they fit exactly the same way. Shirt costs $10. Shirt B has a small logo on the chest, maybe a famous luxury brand, and it costs $500. Now, in a purely logical world, the world of standard economics, nobody would ever buy shirt B. Why would you pay 50 times more for something that does the exact same job? The basic law of demand says that as the price of a product goes up, demand for it goes down. It's simple, right? But in the real world, something strange happens. If I raise the price of shirt B to $1,000, people might actually want it more. They'll camp out on the sidewalk for 3 days just for the chance to buy it. This completely breaks that fundamental law of economics. These are called Veblen goods. They're named after the sociologist Thorstein Veblen. And for these products, the high price isn't a bug. It's a feature. The price is the product. Because the purpose of the product isn't to cover your body, the purpose is to send a very specific message to the world. I have so much money that I can afford to waste it. This is the Veblen goods effect. It's the story of conspicuous consumption and why we're all programmed to believe that expensive means better. The man behind this idea, Thorstein Veblen, was a fascinating character. Back in 1899, he wrote a groundbreaking book called The Theory of the Leisure Class. He looked at the ultra-rich of his time, the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, and he asked a simple question. Why do they do these absurd things? Why would a woman wear a corset so tight she could barely breathe? Why would someone maintain a huge, perfectly manicured lawn that you don't grow any food on? Why use a heavy, ornate silver spoon when a simple wooden one works just as well? Veblen concluded that all of these behaviors were about one thing: signaling status. Specifically, they signaled that you did not have to work for a living. A tight corset shouts, "I don't do manual labor." A vast, useless lawn screams, "I have so much land. I can afford to waste it on grass instead of potatoes." This is what he called conspicuous consumption, buying and using things specifically to display wealth. For a Veblen good, the demand curve actually slopes upward. The more expensive it gets, the more people want it. If a Rolex watch cost $50, nobody would desire it. It would just be a watch. But at $10,000, it becomes a powerful status symbol. At $50,000, it's a ticket to an exclusive club. The actual utility of the watch, its ability to tell time, is almost irrelevant. In fact, a cheap Casio watch keeps time more accurately than an expensive mechanical Rolex. What you're really buying is the exclusion. You're buying the fact that most other people can't afford it. There's a famous story in the marketing world about Chivas Regal Scotch whiskey that perfectly illustrates this. Back in the mid-20th century, Chivas was struggling. It was a decent mid-price scotch, but sales were completely flat. The company's marketing team was stumped. So they decided to try something radical. They didn't change the recipe. They didn't change the bottle. They didn't change the taste at all. They just did one thing. They doubled the price. And suddenly sales exploded. Why? Because a product like whiskey is what's known as a credence good. It's very difficult for the average person to judge its quality just by tasting it. We don't really know what makes one scotch better than another. So, what do? We use a mental shortcut. We use price as a substitute for quality. When consumers saw Chivas on the shelf at that new high price, their brains instinctively said, "Wow, this must be the good stuff. I'll buy it for my boss to impress him." The price tag literally rewrote the flavor profile in their minds. This is the placebo effect of pricing. Neuroscientists have even studied this. If you give people the exact same wine, but you tell one group it costs $10 and another group it costs $100, fMRI scans show that the brains of the second group actually experience more pleasure. The higher price literally makes it taste better. But for luxury brands, there's a hidden danger. If a Veblen good becomes too popular, it loses its power. This is exactly what happened to Burberry in the early 2000s. Their famous checkered pattern became so popular that it started being widely adopted, often through knockoffs, by a social group in the UK that the media called chavs. Suddenly, the rich stopped wearing it. Why? Because the pattern no longer signaled exclusive wealth, it signaled mass market. The status was gone. Burberry had to launch a massive rebranding effort, drastically reducing the use of the check pattern and removing it from 90% of their products just to regain their exclusive status. This leads us to a more subtle form of signaling, inconspicuous consumption, or what we now call quiet luxury. The idea is that the truly wealthy don't need to shout about it. They want a signal that only other rich people will recognize. A Loro Piana hoodie might look like a simple hoodie from Gap to the average person. But someone in the know recognizes that it costs $2,000 and is made from the ultra-rare wool of the Vikina. It is like a dog whistle for the rich. It signals status without provoking envy or unwanted attention from the masses. So, why do we do this? Is it just a byproduct of capitalism? Not at all. The roots of this behavior are biological. It goes back to a concept in evolution called the handicap principle. Just look at a peacock. That enormous, brightly colored tail is heavy. It makes it hard to fly. It attracts predators. Biologically speaking, it's a completely stupid and impractical thing to grow. But that's exactly why the peahen is attracted to it. The tail is a signal. It says, I am so strong and my genes are so good that I can survive and thrive despite carrying this massive handicap. Driving a Ferrari in a city full of speed limits and traffic is a modern handicap. It's impractical. It has no trunk space. It scrapes on every speed bump, but that's the point. It broadcasts, I have so many resources that I can afford to burn them on this beautiful, useless machine. Veblen goods are the human equivalent of the peacock's tail, and today this principle has gone digital. The ultimate Veblen goods are now virtual. Think about NFTs or non-fungible tokens. A digital image of a board. Ape looks exactly the same whether you officially own it or you just right-click and save the image. But owning the receipt on the blockchain can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It is pure, unadulterated status signaling. It's burning money just for the sake of showing you can. Or look at video game skins like in Fortnite. Kids will beg their parents for $20 just to buy a new outfit for their character. This outfit doesn't make the character run faster or shoot better. It offers zero gameplay advantage. Its only purpose is to signal to other players, I'm not a default player. I have status. I have money. We have successfully digitized conspicuous consumption. The Veblen goods effect teaches us a powerful lesson. We aren't the rational utility calculating machines we think we are. We are social primates, deeply obsessed with status and hierarchy. When you buy a luxury handbag, you aren't just buying a container for your keys and phone. You're buying a position in the social tribe. So, the next time you see a price tag that makes you gasp, don't just ask yourself, is this product worth it? Ask a different question. Who am I trying to impress? Because more often than not, the person willing to pay the highest price is the one who feels the most insecure. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, consider subscribing for more deep dives into how the world really works.